Well, it's Tuesday, February 20th, 2024, and things are going along relatively smoothly. There hasn't been anything really to um, impede my progress or, cause me excessive obstacle. Um, Nothing out of the ordinary, or not that was with outside of my expected possible interferences. Um, Not that I know everything or anything, but it's just I have anticipated a certain amount of what could go wrong, and it's like so when stuff does go wrong, or I don't know answers, or when situations aren't quite what I thought they might be, it's like I already was ready for things to not be exactly the way I thought they were going to be. So when they aren't, I'm not surprised. Um, and a lot of times things actually work out better than what I was anticipating. That's the surprise, is when things go better. Because I build things up in my mind and am prepared for all these outcomes and situations that don't actually ever materialize. Rarely. Sometimes they do, but I don't know which ones. But they happen so infrequently that it's not really necessary for me to prepare in advance for all the things that I don't know. But anyway, so the last video that I recorded in the other room, um, I was not expecting for it to get as many views as what it did. I actually was just like, thinking that, most people would just click on it out of curiosity or by accident to see what it was about. And it's like, and then they would watch just a little bit and then click away, which they did. But I was surprised by the number of people that actually clicked on it in the first place. Because when you title something in the day's date, you don't expect, or I don't expect, it to show up in many people's, feeds, I guess. And same thing will go for this one. It's like I'll name it something relatively harmless, and because it is, um, or is it? But then it probably will get like a couple views, or maybe it'll, I don't know. But for me, a lot of views is about 100. If I get 100 views, that's on a full length, long form video. That's a lot. But then again, still, if anybody watches more than a couple minutes, like 1 minute or 2 minutes, wow, I must have really attracted some attention and said some interesting things that kept attention for a long time or a while longer. Because, I don't know, this is just not very exciting. It's not very stimulating or educational or profound or engaging. Um, and it's like, that's okay. I'm not really here for entertainment purposes. Um, and I'm not trying to be amusing or funny or clever. If I am any of those things at any particular moment, it is not planned. It is accidental. And anyway, a lot of it is just little interstitial pauses anyway, because I'm using the word anyway, 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 a lot, because I don't have a script, and there's nothing that I've rehearsed. And this is just whatever my free form stream of consciousness wherever it goes, I go. So I'm just giving it a voice. But there are still translation difficulties from, I'm not saying exactly what it is I think, how I think it. It's just these are the words that are able to be produced while the whole is going. So it's not an exact replica of everything. as I'm concentrating on this and thinking about that, I've got that running in the background, and I've got that running in the background, and just a lot of just those, various mental processes. And I mean, I think everybody has that to some degree in various ways to their understanding. So anyway, I thought I'd record something a little bit longer today just because I have the ability, and I'm here, and I'm just appreciating that fact that I'm still here for a little while longer, and I'm still getting things taken care of, still attending to the business of daily life to, make the little changes to allow for this to happen. The whole transposition to happen as fluidly and without confusion as possible. Because the most important thing is I don't want to receive mail here after I'm gone. Not mail that I want, So I'm trying to make a mental list of all the different places that I need to contact, either by phone or online, to let them know of a change of address, including the USPS, to try to cover all the gaps of things that I might not think of. And then I got my taxes filed yesterday, so that's done. And and then shutting off the utilities for this place. Contacting the few utilities that I have accounts with, and letting them know to shut them off, transfer them back to the the owners of the building, so that so yep. So it's not like this is the first time I've moved or anything like that. I've actually moved many times, but this is maybe one of the first times that I've ever had to collect all of my belongings, and because I don't really have that much anymore. Because the other times when I've moved, I still had a place. I didn't, it was a permanent residence, and so I didn't have to move everything because that place still existed. And, but here, this will not exist after I'm gone, this place. So I have to clear out everything that I consider to be mine that I want to take with me. And then it'll just be occupied by somebody else at some point, or it'll just be empty for a while. But that'll, as long as I get everything out that I want, it's like there will be no coming back. That's the main thing. So, and I do plan on leaving some odds and ends, just as, because I don't want to pack them myself, and I'll just leave them for the next person. And if they don't want them, they can do whatever they want. And it might be annoying for the next person to have to, decide on what to do with it. But I don't know, they might like it. Or, like some of the things that I'm leaving behind, like the microwave. The apartment doesn't come with a microwave, but I'm leaving a microwave. Same with the coffee maker. Same with some different light fixtures and lava lamps. I don't know if anybody's going to want those, but they'll be here because I'm not transporting them. And some other lamps and decorative objects that I've collected. They're not making the trip. They belong in the context of this apartment. They do not translate elsewhere. They are here. So, and I have my own documentation of their existence. So it's not like they will be forgotten, and it's not like they're that important. It's just like something that's it is going to have been part of my memory and history here, but it won't exist outside of memories here. No attachments elsewhere. And that's how it is for me. In some cases, not in all cases, but in this case, it's like only some things can come along, and we'll make the journey and have a new life in a new place. You know, I'm just thinking about the tree. It is going to have made the trip, and yeah. So it's like I've known the tree here, and it'll take it with me to the new place, and then it'll be like, to me, that's special. You know, because it's like a continuity. So, anyway, and you know, putting down roots. So it's figurative as well, which I like. Of course, when I'm speaking in metaphor, sometimes it's difficult to understand where the metaphor begins and ends. So, and sometimes it's just me being playful, or sometimes, you know, it might come off as being a little bit too cryptic. I don't think so. But everything's for the asking. I don't assume that anyone ever actually understands, because you know, a lot of times it's like, unless they've gotten to know me, how would they know? How could they know? They have their own lexicon and of how they have processed their experience of life and reality. And everyone has their own, whether they know it or not, they have their own language of metaphors and references, you know? References to this and that as an allusion to, you know, thoughts and feelings and ideas, connections and parallels, tangents. So, anyway. The weather is warming up out there. I think the last couple cold nights are now behind me. And for my remaining few days here, it's going to have warmed up a bit. And the nights will be, you know, it'll be cool, but they won't be below freezing. And spring has sort of begun. The birds are out in force and chirping and singing, and very optimistic about the future. But the trees, of course, are still in winter mode, rightly so. Because this could be like one of those false springs. But it is on its way regardless. It is inevitable. And I did notice that my last night here officially will be Saturday, the 24th. And that'll be the night of the February full moon. So that'll be, unless it's cloudy, but it'll still be there. But it'll still be a nice night. And then Sunday, I'll be on the road. And destination known. So, it's all very exciting. Even if I don't sound like it or it looks like it, you know, I don't always express myself in a way that it can be seen visibly on the surface. It doesn't mean that it's not there, and it doesn't diminish the intensity or the sincerity of it. But it's just not there at the surface for people to witness. And it has to be woken up sometimes. You know, I am not just ready to go. I need to warm up. And so it's like sometimes when I'm speaking, it takes me a little while to find my voice and to find some confidence in it and to find my words. So it's an interesting phenomenon or process. And I think everybody has that. Just not everybody practices and engages their thoughts in the same ways, which is, a lot of people have, a more social group or social circle or, friends and family and things like that in which to extend themselves. And, but, for the most part, I'm just kind of in my own world doing whatever it is I do on a daily basis. And I don't really have many sources to work, to bounce my ideas off of on a regular basis in time with what's going on in my daily surroundings. Because I'm just in my world here, I'm just kind of by myself. And that's just how it's been, It is my normal here. And, for whatever it means, for whatever it's worth, it's worked here. But, part of what I'm doing is working on changing that because, I've survived and I've grown, but I'm just lonely. And it's like I know that, and I've been working on it. Trying to be the person that I want to be to attract the person I want to attract. And only by being myself is that possible. I can't fake being something that I'm not, because then I'll attract somebody that is attracted to the person that I'm not. And I can't keep that up. And I don't want to. I want to just be myself the way that I am and attract the person that is okay with that. So, less formality, less pretense, less posturing. Not without, not absent, but less. Because there's always going to be an element of showmanship, which I can't help. It's a little bit theatrical, or I tend to, or can, exaggerate or embellish my psychic landscape for the sake of melodrama. So, but I highly encourage anyone else that is kind of like me, in their own space, in their own time, in their own environment, that if they were looking for somebody to connect with, for conversation or, connection, meeting somebody of like mind, be yourself. Be the person who you are to the best of your ability. And stick with it. And try not to be afraid. Because it won't be understood by very many people. But that's okay. That's a good thing. Because it's other people do the work of filtering themselves out. Because I know for myself, I'm not for everyone. I'm not everyone's cup of tea. And they aren't for me. Not everyone is for me. It's like I don't get very many people. And I think that's working as intended. So if people don't like me or understand me or are trying to get me to, be a certain way so that I'm more like them. Um, it's like, or they get frustrated or angry at me because I'm not easily understood, or I'm not speaking in a way that they, it's like, well, they're just not for me. They are, and I am not for them. It doesn't mean that I should only try to work on relationships or friendships, or that, just naturally everything is easy and I don't have to work at it and it's just everything falls into place. No, there's always going to be effort, I think. But it shouldn't be overwhelming, I suppose, is the best word. I've had attempted friendships and attempted relationships that didn't really go anywhere, but I worked on them for a long time. And I guess they resulted in disappointment or heartache in one way or the other. And either I recognized that it wasn't working, or they recognized that it wasn't working. And it always comes back to communication, and how willing they were, or how willing I was to open up that exchange of thoughts and ideas, and so. But anyway, my suggestion for anyone else out there who ever made it this far, don't give up. Keep going. It might take a long time. And this, of course, is not everyone's avenue or boulevard. But this is what ended up working for me. It was a platform for me to speak and just kind of put myself out there. Because I don't, I am not one to be found out there in the real world. That is not where I can be met, it turns out. I don't know if people ever tried to meet me and I just wasn't paying attention, or it was just not available, or approachable. But it was just difficult, because I'm just always just in a different mode of awareness out there, because I've just got too many things and I'm not sure exactly what is going on, and it's difficult for me to I don't know. I haven't figured that out, but I'm still working on it. But I haven't arrived at any conclusions. I just continue to work on hypotheses. But for me, in my experience, at least, as far as relationships and finding kindred spirits, this worked and is working as a methodology. And it's not. This is not how it's supposed to. At least this format and platform. I guess I don't think it's designed with this in mind. But I don't think it's outside of the domain of what is possible. I think it's okay, and I think that's part of the beauty of this platform, is that there are less restrictions, there is less censorship, and there are the rules that are in place and the regulations that are there. They are there for a reason, and I might not always understand the reason or even know of the reasons, but and they might not always fall within my sense of what is convenient, but I still have to live within them and respect them, because this is not my platform. I am at the mercy of the powers that be. So I try to do my best to, fall within that authority. but there is still a lot of freedom to move around. It's just like being a citizen of a country. You know, there are laws. And so I'm a content creator on a platform. There are rules, and I can choose to follow them, or I can choose to not. It's up to me. And then based on my behavior, they may, you know, there may be consequences, but there's always consequences. So right now I'm really enjoying my consequences. They are some really awesome consequences. So anyway, I don't know if anyone got anything out of this, but I did. And that's the point. This is a platform for me to practice speaking. To own my voice and to say whatever it is that's on my mind, and it doesn't have to make sense, and it doesn't have to translate well. It's just to document what I was thinking and how I was thinking at the time, because right now is the only time, and then it's gone. So, and I'm the only one to witness it from my particular point of view. Not that mine is all that different or special than anyone else's, but it is mine, just like this is my life. So it's like, and even if I never myself even look back on this or reflect on it or think about, wow, I'm glad I recorded that. You know, I may never, but still, I feel better knowing that I have, and that I could. It is available, and maybe somebody else. Maybe I'm not recording it for me. Maybe I'm recording it for somebody else, and somebody else will get something out of it. That'll help them at some point with something, or just, you know, let them know that they're not alone. Because that's an important thing for me. Is just not feeling like I'm alone, like I'm the only one. I know I'm not, but it still feels really lonely a lot of the time. But this exercise lets me feel less alone. So, anyway, I've got my first load of laundry that I'm going to be doing for the upcoming trip in the washer, and that first cycle should be wrapping up in a little while, and then I need to change that load into the dryer and then put the next wash load in. So I better attend to that, because this building that I live in, with the apartments, there's only one washer and dryer to share amongst all of us. So it's like you almost have to, you know, reserve your place. And so it's nice that I'm here during the daytime, because everyone else is usually gone. And there are like laundromats and stuff you could take your stuff to, but that's a lot of extra work and travel and being out in public. So I prefer to use the facility on site. But still, it is in a public space, but you just reserve your, you know, next washer cycle or dryer cycle with quarters in place, just in the slots, reserving it. And it works. Everyone seems to follow that. And anyway, so anyway, there might be one or two more videos like this. I don't know, because I'm enjoying making these last few videos. I wonder what the next one will be about. I don't know. I really don't. It's not like I have some idea about it and I'm just keeping it to myself. It's like I surprise myself. So anyway, it is about that time. So have a good day.